My name's C. Andrew Nelson. I'm an actor, a visual effects artist, animator, voiceover performer, and genuine Dark Lord of the Sith. I actually spent 12 years playing the character of Darth Vader for Lucasfilm and the Lucas companies, for film and television and games and commercials and print and everywhere the character was needed. Like I said, I'm also a visual effects artist. I worked at LucasArts first, helping design and create lots of Star Wars games and other games as well, and then moved over to Industrial Light and Magic, worked on the effects for the Star Wars prequels and films like Galaxy Quest and Jurassic Park 3 and Nightmare Before Christmas and a whole bunch of others. And I'm also a voice actor. I do voices for games and animation. In fact, I even did the voice of Luke Skywalker for some of the LucasArts games when Mark Hamill wasn't available. And voice acting and audio has been my big focus lately because about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I formed a production company with a buddy of mine, Jerry Cornell, to produce audio dramas. Full cast music and sound effects. Our company is called Adventurous Ideas, and you'd see that if it would come up on the screen. So any moment now, you'll see the wonderful graphic that shows our wonderful logo.
Which you can also see, I believe, on your shirt.
Shirts.
Yes, right there, yes.
Adventurous Ideas.
Yes.
We're walking billboards.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the adventurous ideas and how this came about.
Adventurous Ideas is the brainchild of myself and producer Jerry Cornell, it came about during COVID, during the lockdown. All of us creative types sitting at home with nothing to do. There was no production, no post-production, no conventions, nothing. And Jerry had the idea of, hey, let's do an audio drama. Because he and I, when we grew up, we each grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and there was a radio station at that time that would play old radio shows from the 1930s and 40s, and we loved that, growing up listening to that sort of thing. And so we thought, well, let's do something like that. And so we got a writer to write a story that Jerry had come up with, and we gave them the story, and they started writing the script. And as the script started coming in, we thought, wow, this is really good. Mm-hmm. So we sent it out to different different actors that we knew, and everybody was recording from home. And as we started getting the tracks in, we thought, wow, this is really good. And then things opened up as we started, editing everything together. And we had a panel at a convention, and the response was tremendous. And so we thought, wow, we've got to do this for real. Mm-hmm. So we formed the company, formed the LLC, and we've been producing audio dramas since then. And because there's nobody in the United States, there's no company that's focused on that. If you go over to the UK, you've got Big Finish Audio that does all the Doctor Who official audio dramas and a lot of other things. They've licensed things like Space 1999 and Dark Shadows and things like that, but nobody's doing that on a grand scale here in the United States until now. So,
which project started Adventurous Ideas? Because it wasn't Adventurous Ideas yet.
No, it was it was an offshoot of Jerry's company, Theme Parkology, and he produces documentaries on various theme parks. But the first project was called Heroes of Extinction. It's a 7-part superhero story, which I would be able to show you if this would come up here.
Yeah, no, the drive, it lost it again.
Wow.
Yep.
I wonder what's going on with the drive.
No idea.
Okay. Do we have internet?
Nope.
No, we have no internet. Otherwise, I could pull it off of there. Yep. Okay.
Yep. We're getting all the technological issues out of the way on day one.
Yes.
Or at least we're trying to.
We may have to have a do-over.
We may.
Yes. Okay, let's see if we can get that to work there. But yeah, so Heroes of Extinction, it's a 7-part superhero story. It's the story of a guy named Gabriel Cohen, who is a superhero named True Strike. He's been a superhero since he was a teenager. It's basically the only job he's ever known. He gets his powers from an alien collective that gives him his super strength, his super speed, and his ability to teleport. It also acts like an intergalactic Siri or Alexa in his head, so he gets information when he's in the battlefield. Well, now Gabriel's turning 50, and his body's changing. It's not connecting with the alien technology like it used to, and his powers aren't reliable anymore like they once were. And so the collective has now told him, you must now find and train your successor, someone who is young and pure of heart like you were. Well, someone, or maybe a group of someones, we don't know yet, are systematically taking out all the superheroes and the supervillains. He has to find out who's behind all of this. There's also been this plague of these mutant creatures, these half-human, half-animal, poisonous things that have been killing people, and his powers aren't reliable enough to stop them. And the love of his life, a scientist who may have been involved with the creation of these mutants, has been killed by one of them. So now he has to mourn her death. He has to band together with the remaining heroes and villains to stop these creatures. He's got to find out who's behind everything, and he still has to locate and train his successor. So we've got a great cast of actors that have been involved with Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, Pixar, even Super Mario, and it's just blossomed from there.
Spoiler alert. I may or may not be part of that problem.
Yes.
Maybe.
Bobby's actually in the
neither
cast of
confirm nor
that.
deny.
I can't confirm nor deny, but I may be part of the issue.
But Heroes of Extinction, it features several actors that have been involved with Star Wars. Of course,
Were they
Bobby's
the
in there.
Keith?
Eric Walker plays a character in
Xavier
the
Keith?
show too.
Okay.
So does Isaac C. Singleton Jr., who is he was in the Mandalorian. He's also in Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. He's that really huge buff pirate in that. We also have Mark Dodson played a character in that for us. And so that is finishing up production right now. We also have a project called Dark Park, which is an anthology series about strange happenings in mysterious old theme parks. And that is finishing up production on the first episode of that.
Why do I get the feeling Dark Park was one of Jerry's ideas?
It was Jerry's idea, yes, definitely Jerry's idea. And then we have another project that is now finishing casting called Extinguished Worlds. It is a superhero, supervillain, alien invasion, time travel story. And we just signed Neil Kaplan to voice one of the characters for that. And Neil's done a lot of voices for Star Wars games.
As well as lots of animation,
Yes,
including
tons of animation.
one of the Optimus Primes.
Yes, right. Yes. And we also have a fantasy tale called Kaladin, which is a very interesting story about a blood curse, a blood oath that between this one particular family and a dragon that has locked them together in this horrible situation until the either the current heir of Kaladin has a male heir that can actually continue on. The dragon won't do battle with him, and the dragon is bound to the castle and cannot leave. And either that or the whoever goes up against him has to find the jewel that was stolen from the dragon that set this whole blood curse in motion. And so it's an interesting tale. It's not just about the fantasy elements. It's a very human story too, about finding your place in the world and responsibility and living your life, so we've got a great cast of actors. We were actually in talks with Julian Glover to be one of the voices in that. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know him as General Veers, of course.
I might know about Veers a little bit.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm glad Josh isn't in the room, actually.
Yes. And then we have another fantasy tale
Yes.
called Destiny of the Fallen.
Destiny
and
of the
actually,
Fallen.
introduce yourself, Kristen.
I'm Kristen Stovall. I'm the person who wrote Destiny of the Fallen, and the book version will be coming out later this summer. So, and that follows it follows primarily a young princess, and her home is absolutely devastated by someone. Armies come in and tear it to pieces, and she has to flee. And then she ends up finding that it's part of something much bigger than she anticipated. It's not just some earthly king going after other kingdoms. There's a prophecy and all kinds of other things going on, and we meet. They have to have three leaders, and the story kind of talks about finding them.
Yes.
So, and Bruna, who just ran off to get a laptop, will be doing one of the voices for
Yes,
that. So.
right. And so the nice thing about when you're an actor that it goes out and gets to do conventions like this, you get to meet other actors, and without question, without fail, I go and I do these conventions with other actors, and everybody talks shop and says, "Oh, what are you working on?" And I tell them about Adventurous Ideas, and everybody says, "Oh, I'd love to work on something like that." So we've got actors from Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pinky and the Brain, we got Pinky and the Brain themselves. Rob Paulson, Maurice Marsh. Yeah, Transformers.
Yeah.
You name it. Name a franchise. And because the nice thing about audio is that doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter. It all matters what you sound like. And that's so. We give actors a chance to do roles that they might not otherwise be able to do. All right, looks like we've got a chance to get this AV stuff going
Actually
here.
going.
Suddenly we're gonna have like all the laptops. just
Hopefully.
in here.
Yes.
If this one doesn't work, we might have another one coming because, like I said, I
Okay.
just sent for one.
Jerry and I sort of naturally gravitate towards different aspects of the process. Jerry works a lot with the writers. He comes up with a lot of the ideas, and he works with the writers. And I have a tendency to work with the actors, and so Jerry works with the writers, develops the stories, and does a lot of editing. I work with the actors, do a lot of the casting, and then also do the final polish on a lot of the scripts. So, there we go. Look at that. Okay. So now let's see.
You did to the rescue. Yeah, it makes sense.
I hope so.
This is why you
Okay.
work for the character. You saved the day with your brains.
Now I just have to find my
Just
drive.
like we said.
Did you plug it in yet?
See, you're just
see.
embodying the character now.
There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Look at that lightning speed here. All
Is
right.
that the newer computer you're
So-
talking about, or is this the old one? Oh wow.
This is my work one for my brother.
Oh cool.
Perfect.
There. Now you
So
see
there's the
logo.
logo,
There's the logo.
actually.
Yes. So that's our company, Adventurous Ideas. That's me. That's Jerry Cornell. This is what you would have seen as I was describing it earlier. But,
Which
but
is
actually,
which?
Let's actually get into. Let me play you some audio. Let me play you actually the trailer from our YouTube channel. It gives you a little taste of things here. Oh, we have no audio there. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me,
I can't fix all of the problems.
let me make sure everything. Make sure everything's okay. I've got it 100% here now. Okay.
I
Can't do everything.
All right, we're ready?
Might not have been.
Okay.
Try now.
Here we go.
Push play.
There we go.
It worked now.
We don't need them all to survive. What are you gonna do to me?
Today must be my lucky day. First blood! First blood! I did it! I did it!
Guys, turn around.
Now you're gonna burn. There's someone trying to turn us against each other.
I'm like you, sent to this world against my will. Only I still remember everything that happened.
Unfortunately for you, I don't suffer fools gladly.
Heads up, everyone.
I wouldn't if I were you.
What makes you think I'll trust anything you say? How do you know about my dual identity?
You better keep an eye on your daughter. You'll never touch her, you freak.
Time to go old school. All great stories begin with adventurous ideas.
And at the end there, that was Mark Dodson, who was the official voice of Adventurous Ideas and always will be now. So that gives you just a little taste of what we do here. Let me go back to the slides. Okay. And so like I mentioned, we have two projects in production, finishing up production right now, Heroes of Extinction and Dark Park. We have two others that we're casting there, Extinguished Worlds, that is just finishing up casting. Also, we're in talks now with Jim Cummings to do a voice for this as well. So
That'll be cool.
yes. And I mentioned, Neil Kaplan and of course Jim Cummings there. Kaladin is also finishing up casting. Again, this is an epic tale, one that I've been trying to get made as a film for many years, and now is finally going to be done as audio, which is nice because I don't have to cut so much. This is based on a book that I've had the rights to for about 40 years, and so we don't have to cut so much for a 2-hour movie. We can put a lot of it back into it now. So, and like I said, Julian Glover is in talks to be part of this cast as well. We mentioned Destiny of the Fallen,
Yes.
and Actually, why don't we talk about Brenna's character just real quick?
Yes. Okay. Well, introduce yourself.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Brenna Castor.
Get the mic.
Brenna Castor. So I'm a good friend of Kristen's, and I got into audiobook narrating a few years ago, and I narrated one of her first books and was one of my first narrations. And so then when she started writing and getting to know Andrew here, she said that she wanted me for one of the characters in Destiny of the Fallen. So I am going to be a centaur, Lizanne.
Yeah,
I
Lizanne.
almost said Lizette. Lizanne, who is very intelligent and likes to come in and save the day with her contraptions. So it's fitting that I ran in with
I know, you were just channeling your character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well cast.
Right. So this has just started casting this thing, and whoops, sorry, hang on. It's very touchy. Wow. Hang on.
Thank you.
That's right.
Also, Kenny James.
Yes. So, but yeah. God, stop that. It's very touchy. Okay.
It's not the laptop this time.
I know it's not the laptop this time. So like I said, we have this is just started casting. We have another 9 productions. Crossbones of Fate, which is a pirate tale, but very different than any other pirate tale that you may have come across. Voices in the Vault, which is an interesting tale of objects in sort of a curiosity shop that are sentient, that talk to each other, and have an interesting story to tell that intertwines with each other. Wild Card, which is about someone who wakes up one morning and finds out he has a superpower. And then he wakes up the next morning, he has a different superpower. And every morning he has a different superpower, and he has no idea why. And he lives in a world where superheroes are the stuff of comic books and legends and movies and things like that. There are no superheroes. How does he deal with this? Sometimes it's a impressive power, like he has super strength, or he can, he can fly. Sometimes it's something like he can hover 2 inches off the ground, or he can change the color of something. What does he do? How does he cure himself of this? Or how does he lean into it and become a superhero? Monster Collective, which is an interesting story of classic monsters that have to work together to prevent the end of the world.
I really like the logo on that. It looks really cool.
You can thank Greg Greason, who is one of our wonderful artists, writers, and actors who did that. Rodella McPherson is a 1930s detective story. It's about a rich socialite woman in the 1930s who is a detective, but she's clairvoyant. So she enters the crime scene, and she gets a vision of who the killer was. Now she has to work backwards, and how do I prove it was them? So, Bolivian Spiral is sort of a 1980s Cold War espionage spy story that I can't go into too much detail on yet. Chasing Stardust is a sort of a intergalactic love story. But it is also an adventure. Oceans Asunder is a steampunk type tale, and Through the Lucid Door is a very interesting one about lucid dreaming and alternate realities, and so these are being written at the moment. So these 9 are being written, and then we have seriously 75 plus in development. All audio. like
That's
I
a
said.
lot.
Yes.
Just
And
as
so,
a few.
and so far, these are all original stories.
These are
Yeah.
all original
All
stories.
original
yes.
stories.
Mhm.
There's nothing
Yes.
licensed. There's nothing that needs to be licensed
Right.
except for the individuals who wrote these stories and
Right.
have helped put adventurous ideas together.
Right.
And working on it, I mean, for me, it's been a blast.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Just
every-
like the sense of community and
Yeah.
just the way everybody works together, and there's really,
The collaboration
Yeah.
of artists is what really
Yeah.
Yeah.
drew me to this.
That is something that Jerry and I have always been adamant about, is that we want it to be a family that works on this stuff. And we, when we're working with the writers, Jerry and I will come up with stories. Mostly Jerry comes up with the stories, and we say, okay, here's everything we know about the story. Here's everything we know about the characters. We hand it to you. Now you make it your own.
yeah, you really leave a lot of room for that too. You
Yes.
kind of give the concept and sort of what needs to happen, but then I felt free to just go with it and make it,
Right.
just be creative and have fun.
Yeah, and we've been doing that with all the projects there. And with the actors, I'm also the director of a lot of the projects. And so my directing style, and Bobby can tell you, is like, I'm not the kind that, like, I get behind you and push you and say, go this way, go that way. I'm more like, I get in front of you and go, this way a little bit, this way. Or get beside you and come, we're going to go on this journey together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's actually been one of the really nice things about coming onto Adventurous Ideas as someone who's new to voice acting. You hear all kinds of different stories about different voice directors. Some of them are really good and know what they're doing, and some of them are really good at coaching, and some of them, but I don't know how they got the gig of being a voice director. And I'm sure we've all seen or even heard some shows that are there and everything between. But what I can say is working on Adventurous Ideas has been nothing but pleasant.
Yeah.
And it's also a very welcoming community. So as you can see, with the currently 9 to coming up 75 plus more productions, there's going to be room for the family to expand. And
Yeah.
it's crazy how much bigger it's gotten in the 5 years that it's been going.
Well, it's not even been 5 years. It's been even less than 5 years, but really, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
probably, yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years or so. And that was just when it was just, hey, we got a digital barn, let's put on a digital show kind of thing. So we got a virtual, barn here. So, but yeah, since we actually formed the company, it's only been 2 years, and it's just grown. Just in the last year, it's gone huge now, and so we've got projects, and our projects will be we're going to release them through Audible and sources like that. Also, it'll be available through purchase and digital download through our own website, and we try to put the first episode of every production on YouTube for free. So if you go to Adventurous Ideas on YouTube, you'll find the whole first episode of Heroes of Extinction there that you can listen to.
And it's a fun one, so you
Yeah.
should definitely go listen to it.
It is. It is a very fun one.
What I've got for you here now is we've made a few little trailers to sort of promote some of these upcoming projects here. So let me run a few of these for you. Although it's not
Watching them.
it's not a visual medium, but we have to use visual medium to advertise it. But this will give you another little taste of it. These trailers here. So.
Mr. Price, hang on. I gotta go get help. Don't give up. Wait, Gabriel. Dial. Initiate protocol transfer.
When fate calls upon you.
I won't even try to pretend to know how you feel.
When I was your age, I was just a normal kid too. I never wanted this life, but I've come to understand that sometimes we don't get to choose our path. The path chooses us. When the world needs you.
Don't you get it, True Strike? The initiative, your quest to find who's behind Crime 27, and even the Fire Reaper. It's all connected.
It's an inside joke.
Too late, True Strike. This is already a room full of dead people.
No. When time is running out.
Whoa, Kate. I bet you got a lot of people counting on you then, huh?
More than you know.
Villains are disappearing, yet crime is rising.
But forever isn't forever. I don't need a replacement. I'm not retiring yet, damn it.
Did you assume to be weak to the laws of your natural processes?
You better pray luck continues to keep tabs on you, Strike, because your days are numbered.
Soon, True Strike, you'll be mine. Your friends, the city, everything. It'll all be mine.
When our greatest heroes have all been wiped out, who will step up to take their place?
Okay. So we got 4 trailers here. So.
It's been 10 years since Caleb was rescued
like-
from a collapsed skyscraper at the
The Astromech scream is not part of the trailer.
I I was like, wait, how did R2 get in there?
You want to back it up a little bit?
Again, just for.
Yeah, take it back a few, like 10, 30 seconds. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Just go any louder.
It's been 10 years since Caleb was rescued from a collapsed skyscraper at the age of 8. His parents never located him.
Oh, okay.
That's what you
I know. I don't. Does it go
Together
up any
with
louder?
his adoptive family, an older brother named Dominic, and a woman.
Nope. No, it doesn't
I
go
think
up.
you muted it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Salvaging tech left behind in the rubble from the conflicts of Vietnam. When an unexpected visitor offers Dominic and Caleb a dangerous yet lucrative salvage job that seems too good to be true, they decide to take the risk. But Caleb has a secret. In a time where battles between heroes and villains is commonplace, Caleb possesses a unique ability. He can't remember his past, but he can see the future and rewind the present. The journey from Psychic Cove to Perilous Island could solve all of their financial problems and provide Caleb answers about his history, if they can survive it. Past and future collide as Caleb races to correct the present before the timeline is destroyed. Extinguished worlds.
The book is actually already out and doing quite well so far. So.
Yeah, you didn't tell me about that one. That one sounds really awesome.
Yes. And here comes Kristen's.
Get it? Sounds awesome.
Yes.
The destiny of a kingdom is to rise and to fall. Even the most powerful can be brought to their knees by something as small as a change in the wind. Ileana has always known she was destined to one day rule the kingdom of Thessaly. Her life has been one of unquestioning duty and devotion to her people. But clouds of war and destruction gather beyond Thessaly's prosperous fields and valleys. Dark powers cast their shadow over all she holds dear. With only a single member of the royal guard for protection, Ileana must flee the kingdom in the desperate hope that she will one day reclaim what is rightfully hers. Far from the life she once lived, an ancient prophecy sets her on a path of danger and desperation. The world is larger and more menacing than Ileana imagined, and the fate of three will determine the destiny of the fallen.
Yeah, that one's awesome too.
It's me.
They say a lady should never dabble in the murky waters of crime, but rules were made to be broken. Being a woman in this line of work hasn't exactly been the cat's pajamas, and in these circles, they'd prefer me to be ornamental, clutching my pearls at the slightest hint of violence. But they underestimate me. They always have. Time and time again, they forget that they need me. Why, you might ask? Because I can see past the grand veneers of society, right into the darkness that lurks just beneath the surface, to the things that aren't there. Take the dagger, for example, an instrument of intrigue. It can either be a tool of aid or of death. I can feel it, you know, which instrument it is, with a simple pass of my fingers, the lingering energy on the blade, the hidden truths, secrets meandering to the surface, coursing through its hilt, and becoming clear as day. Humans will always be the best actors, spinning the most complex of lies, wielding the most distractions, sending authorities around in circles upon circles. But a dagger? No, a dagger doesn't know how to lie. So, while the ones we chase dance their way through webs of deceit, it would be prudent for them to remember this. I'm the dame who knows what you don't want her to know, and the one who'll unravel your lies with a mere touch. Here's to uncovering the truth, one dagger at a time.
There you go.
All great stories begin with adventurous ideas.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the ones that are in the works there. Actually, I have one more trailer for you if you're interested. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. This is for our pirate tale called Crossbones of Fate, which is an interesting project because we're doing something different with this one. We're keeping our team in the dark for a particular reason. It's a story of 5 different pirates whose lives all converge. Their paths all converge because of this one particular event that happens to all of them at the same moment that then forces them together, and they have to work together to get beyond this. But we came up with the idea of, all right, what if we bring in 5 different writers to write these first 5 episodes? Each episode is about a different pirate, and one writer then will be overseeing all of this, helping produce the project. But we're not going to tell anybody, okay, which pirate did you get? Which pirate did you get? Everybody's going to be kept in the dark there, and we're going to be recording it when we say, okay, hey, we'd like to have you come in and write this, and it's going to be part of our behind the scenes there, so that not until after everything is sort of in production will everybody know who's working on the project and who gets which pirate and
Jerry likes to keep teasing the writers, like, we're going to tell the writers soon we're going to tap writers on the shoulder soon, but nope.
Maybe it'll be you, maybe it won't. You don't know. So here's a little trailer for Crossbones of Fate.
I'm sure you've heard the tales. The legend of the unlikely 5. Worlds apart they were. Such strong wills and dark purposes, yet drawn to one another. How they ever sailed on the same ship without slitting each other's throats is a mystery to be sure. What they accomplished together, no one can question or doubt. They may have saved us all. Aye, the stuff of legends, but 'tis all true. 5 different lives, 5 different motives, 5 different hearts, 5 different secrets, 5 different paths, but only one destination. Crossbones of Fate. Oh, beware. It's coming for you. From Adventurous Ideas.
There we go. And we're actually in talks with some Star Wars actors to be involved in that as well. So, but I can't say who yet. So,
It's a secret.
But rather than just playing trailers for you, let me actually play you some scenes from. I'm going to play you a couple of scenes from Heroes of Extinction, so that you actually get a taste of the real show itself here.
Which episode is this from?
This is from episode 1. So
very nice. And where can they listen to the full episode right now if they want to listen to it after these scenes?
They can go to youtube.com/@Adventurous Ideas. And you'll find the whole first episode there.
Not only will you find the whole first episode, but you'll also find various interviews with various cast and crew members from Adventurous Ideas.
Yes, yeah. More on that in a moment. But here's the intro to episode 1 of Heroes of Extinction.
When our greatest heroes have all been wiped out, who will step up to take their place? This is Heroes of Extinction. Episode 1, Better Lust Than Never. Fractus.
You're really gonna try and stop me? You think you can?
Don't. This one time, I'm asking you nicely. You know this won't end well. Put the diamonds down and walk away. The police have already been notified, and I can't let you...
Let me work. Please. Don't you think I've already heard you? You're losing your edge, Strike. You couldn't stop me even if you wanted to. And by the looks of it, I really don't think you want to. Besides, you owe me. Or have you already forgotten?
True Strike carefully approaches Fractus with his hands up in surrender. Don't do this, Fractus. You know I just can't let you leave with those jewels.
Even after I saved your ass with Ringneck?
We both know you did that for your own benefit, as much as mine, you self-serving son.
Maybe. But who got the win? Who benefited from his capture? Certainly not me. In fact, I could have easily walked away from the whole situation. No one knew I was there. No one ever would have suspected. Face it, Strike. Ringneck's capture was a favor from me to you.
Leave the diamonds, and I won't chase you.
You better pray luck continues to keep tabs on you, Strike. Because your days are numbered. And next time, I won't be so patient.
Fractus raises his hand and slowly makes a fist, closing one finger at a time. The wall behind him shakes, and an instant later the bricks implode, creating a gaping hole to the outside. With one final glance at True Strike, Fractus jumps through the opening and disappears. True Strike takes a deep breath and bends down to pick up one of the diamonds. Holding it up to the light, he admires it, then looks back to where Fractus escaped. Let's just hope for both our sakes there won't be a next time.
Okay. How much time we got here?
And that's the start of the first episode.
Yes.
We have about 10 minutes.
Okay. I can run one more clip here from Heroes of Extinction. This is from episode 2.
Oh, I don't think I've heard anything from episode 2.
You may not have, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I certainly haven't.
Yeah. So this is when our main character, Gabriel Cohen, who is the superhero True Strike, he meets up with an interesting character. He doesn't know if she's a hero or a villain, known as the Human Blade. And of course, it happens in a dark alley. So.
That's exactly where you want to meet someone named the Human Blade.
Disengage exo camo.
Exterior camouflage disengaged. We take it your deal with the villain named Fractus went according to plan?
Jeez, you say it like that. But yes, to answer your question, he was agreeable to my conditions.
And have you considered what we have previously discussed in regards to the search for a protege?
I said I'd think about it, all right? That's what I'm doing. Thinking about it.
Well, your words suggest you are complying with our request. Your hesitation leads us to believe that.
I can't do this right now. Goodbye, Skyo. Gabriel disconnects and takes a sharp turn between two buildings. As he walks through the alley, his head down, anger builds in him. Why was Skyo writing him about finding a replacement? He didn't have time for that. Besides, his powers were working just fine.
A word, if you wouldn't mind.
A silky female voice slithers down from above and wraps around him in the early morning. Goose flesh crawls up the back of his neck, and he looks up. A lingering street lamp flickers in the early hour. He cranes his neck as a small flash of movement catches his attention. His gaze scours the bricks, up and up, higher and higher, until they finally register the figure of a woman. Gabriel holds his breath as she balances upon the fire escape, 40 feet above where he stands, like some sort of animatronic gargoyle. She is partially shielded by the grate and the shadows created by the early morning light as it zigzags through the alley at odd angles. Still, despite his vantage point, he can see that she's wearing a dark purple jumpsuit with various swords and blades attached to both arms and along her legs. His heart races as he tries to assess her intention. Who are you?
Never a straight answer. It's always a question with a question, isn't it? I'll tell you what. You answer my questions, and I'll answer yours. A sort of tit-for-tat arrangement. A pretty generous offer since you know nothing about me and I know plenty about you.
Gabriel throws his shoulders back and lifts his chin. He debates whether to activate his True Strike form and decides to hold off. Not yet. Still, he takes a few steps into the shadows to better conceal himself. There's no wisdom in making himself a total sitting duck.
Deal. What do you want to know?
The woman shifts place in the fire escape and positions herself behind the stairs. Gabriel strains to see her face, but she's kept herself enough in the shadows that it is nearly impossible.
What do you know about Creme 27?
Gabriel furrows his brow. Is there a connection between this woman and the university? Does this woman have anything to do with what happened? And how did this woman know he'd have answers for her? He forces himself not to react. That's it. Play it cool.
I don't know the extent of it, just what's in the newspapers. I know it's a component under research at Hemlock Briar. Some sort of suppression therapy to negate the transformation in humans with extrasensory ability. Now, it's my turn. Who are you?
You may call me the Human Blade.
Well, Human Blade, what do you want with Creme 27?
My turn. How long was Dr. Matthews working on the project?
Gabriel inhales deeply, his nostrils flaring at the mention of Davina. He tightens his jaw and swallows.
Davina's been working on the project since its inception. I only recently discovered the details. Perhaps you can contact the university for a more in-depth account of Dr. Matthews' curriculum vitae. Now, it's my turn. Are you following me?
The Human Blade nods her head to the side.
I've been watching you for some time now, but to be honest, I wasn't completely sure you were my target until the gala. True Strike.
Adrenaline rushes through Gabriel. How did she know his altar? He presses his fingers against his temple.
Sky, engage Exo.
Before he can complete the sentence, the woman pulls a small blade from her wristband and flings it at Gabriel. A small silver projectile flashes through the alley and slices his inner wrist before embedding itself into the soft brick of the wall behind him. He drops his hand, and the connection to Skyo is interrupted before the sequence is completed.
I wouldn't if I were you. If I wanted you dead, you'd already be.
A heavy silence fills the alley between them. Gabriel examines the woman. A thin line of blood oozes slowly from the expertly sliced skin. There's no doubt she is telling him the truth. If she had wanted him dead, he would be. He rolls his lips as he pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and holds it to the cut.
You have my attention.
The woman steps out of the shadows, a smile spreading across her face. Her emerald green eyes pierce through her eye mask.
Well, it's about time, because I have some information you just may want to hear.
You come to me, threaten my identity, slice my wrist with your little knives. What makes you think I'll trust anything you say?
Trust, don't trust. It's entirely up to you. You are merely a side note in my mission.
She grabs a rail of the fire escape and swings herself up and over the ledge, landing on the balcony of the level below.
A strange pattern is taking shape in your city. It started a few weeks ago after the explosion at the gala. Our network has collected evidence suggesting a rise in violent and populace-endangering crimes, while the actual total number of criminals appear to be in a drastic decline.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is that villains are disappearing, yet crime is rising. My superiors believe there may be a new player in town, someone whose capabilities are yet unknown. Someone who may be using the very serum your girlfriend was working with before she was murdered.
Murdered? You think Davina was intentionally killed? Who are your superiors? What network do you work for? How do you know about my dual identity?
Should I submit a list of answers to your questions? Maybe we could battle it out for a bit and include some witty banter and glib repartee. But perhaps this would go a lot faster if you ask your orbital friend if what I say is correct. Then once you're satisfied by the truth, we can discuss this matter further, like professionals.
The Human Blade steps up on the rail and leaps through the air. catches the bar of the fire escape to the left of her and hoists herself up with extraordinary agility. Within seconds, she's up the ladder and standing on the building's roof.
And once I'm satisfied, where do I find you?
You don't. I'll find you.
She ducks back and is gone, leaving Gabriel standing in the alley by himself.
And there you go. There's a little taste of Heroes of Extinction for you. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to our Adventurous Ideas panel. Stay tuned for more Adventurous Ideas content. Episode 1 is already up on the YouTube channel currently, with the other episodes to Season 1 coming out.
they'll be out later this year, hopefully by the end of summer, and be available through Audible and through our own website as well, adventurousIdeas.com. There's the YouTube address there. And you can also find us on, formerly known as Twitter, and I'd have to change the logo there, Facebook, and also Instagram. So.
Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you.
We have another panel about to start here momentarily.
Also, that's the show he was talking about, the Lowdown at the Down Low, our talk show. They'll have all of our different actors being interviewed and our writers, etc. So there you go.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.